Peter left it late, but what are you thinking after that?
Yeah, hopefully the fans are enjoying the late goals. Reece Lyon got one the other week, got one tonight. I think it was a war of attrition, that game really, but delighted to get the 3 points. I think we obviously needed the 3 points after the 3 losses. We weren't really troubled at any point. I didn't feel, but it was a scrap. In the wind, the wind was blustery all over the place. First half we had a lot more control in the game. Second half was really scrappy and maybe nervy from both sides. And the pop up at the end, Mikey Hewitt, he's the one that hit the post in the first half as well. Delighted he's getting back to where he was last season, because he was doing that all the time. Not hitting the post, getting in the box and scoring goals.
It was one of those games that you thought it was going to be a goalless draw, but what a way to secure the points.
Well, we were thinking it probably wouldn't have been a goalless draw. Maybe it'll come down to the set piece, and in the end it does, because of the night that's in it. You can put men forward, but Alloa maybe at the end looking for set pieces also. But yeah, I thought, Matty Douglas comes up, wins the first header, and then Mikey doing what he does, gets in and scores. So delighted to get the win, get the 3 points. Hopefully it keeps a few people quiet for another week, and then we'll see what happens next week. But we've got a cup game next week, haven't we? So maybe we'll keep it quiet for a couple of weeks.
We talked about confidence and things, and that just feels like a good, winning it so late in the game just feels like a real morale booster.
Absolutely, that's what I mean when I say we needed that. The players who, like this week, we showed them a lot of footage saying about needing to win the battle. Doing the other side of the game, I think we spoke about that before. Not having to coach the players to be good passing side or the good passes of the ball, because they can all do that, or full time. It's just the little nuances of the game of when can you leave something on somebody in the midfield, don't get pulled out of position, this, that and the other. And I thought tonight, in the weather that we've been in, we went to East Fife. It was a fight and a scrap last week against Montrose. Again, it was that fight, the scrap with the blowing a gale. We ended up losing the East Fife one. Tonight we've gone out there and we've found a way, and I think that was what I said a few weeks back. In some games it's not going to go your way. You're not going to have great games all the time, but can you find a way just to get a result? And we were fortunate enough to do that tonight.
And it just shows you what a win does, because it makes the table look better tonight, isn't it?
It does. It makes the table look better. Really strange in the format today, playing a half five. Even the players, I think maybe, second half for both teams are probably a little bit nervy. I would say that's what the game got down to, because it was so scrappy, because the players have seen what the results were earlier on in the day. So, if we didn't win today, we ended up sitting just down in the I think it was third at the bottom of the table, still really close to fourth and where you want to be up the top end. But it obviously looks a little bit better tonight because we found that way. And
you said there's a cup game next, with Stranraer, so another one of the KDM games, but it's a Saturday.
Yeah, but it's also, we felt with Curtis Guthrie, with his injury, we felt hope if we can give him that rest over the 2 weeks of the Montrose, Alloa, and then we have the Stranraer game, which it was the 2 to 3 weeks he needed off. Maybe we'll have him available coming to the league game following that. Benjamin Luson as well, could maybe have him back. We were hoping for Jordan Allen to come back around about that time as well, but unfortunately he's had a setback. So yeah, if we have a couple of more players available, the confidence for the players will be lifted. It's a good evening.
It's a local derby next week though, so that gives again another bit of added spice. And
it does, and we played them in the cup earlier on, and we feel like we didn't do ourselves justice, so we'll be going out next week to try and win that game and put ourselves through to the next round with enough points, and then we've got Motherwell after that. So
as you say, you lost in the League Cup, so are we point to prove next week?
Yeah, absolutely. We point to prove every week to go out and try and win as many games as you can, and if you don't win them, can you draw them? But Stranraer, yeah, they did well so far, but they're not doing too well in the league. So we know you go there and they've got the long grass, depending on what day it is. If it's like this, it'll be a tough game. I think it was like that today. So get the players prepared. They deserve the rest tonight, and over the weekend we get them in next week preparing for Stranraer. I'm looking forward to that.